Hey everyone, I'm coming in for my 14-week post-op VSG surgery update and excited to report my stats this week. My highest weight ever was 442 pounds. My weight day of surgery was 397 pounds. And my weight this morning was 340.8 pounds, which is a loss since surgery of 56.8 pounds, so almost 57 pounds in 14 weeks. And a total loss since my highest weight of 101.8 pounds. So I hit my mark this week. I'm 100 pounds down since my highest, and I can't even kind of comprehend that because, I mean, I can comprehend it. It's great. I feel so good, and it makes me think, like, how did I ever get up there? You know, you have those like great thoughts, and then you have these thoughts like, wow, I really weighed that much, and kind of crazy that it got to that point. And I was only at that weight for like a year compared to, I've been overweight my whole life, but I was at 442 pounds for like a year when I was finishing school. And the rest of my life I've been like, I was at like 280 for a while and then 380 for a while. So 380 was like my highest, and then all of a sudden 440 was my highest. And once I finished school, I knew something needed to change. So anyway, I'm excited. I'm down 100 pounds. It feels awesome, and doing all these little things that, like crossing my legs and all these things that you don't really, or that you take for granted or don't really think about. So it's been a really good week. I had a total loss this week of like almost 5 pounds, which was great. I was kind of stalled out for like 3 weeks. I was going up and down and just losing a little bit. And between month 2 and month 3, I had only lost 10 pounds. So that's not very much for how much I need to lose for a whole month. 4 weeks, 10 pounds. So I'm glad that I had a big drop this week. Made me feel rejuvenated. And not that I ever have regretted surgery yet. I don't think I will ever regret it. But you know, you're just kind of getting like discouraged, like please scale, move, and I'm glad it happened this week because I needed a boost. So I also, speaking of that, wanted to talk about the reasons that the excuses I made for not doing surgery, because I was actually technically approved for surgery when I was, I want to say around 21 or 2, and right now I'm 29. So, oh my gosh, I'm not 29. I say that every time I tell my age. I say I'm 29. I'm not 29 yet. I turned 29 in 4 weeks. 28. So anyway, I was approved for surgery a while ago and ended up not going through with it. There was actually like a problem with my insurance, so I guess I wasn't technically approved. I was approved and then not approved. So at that time, I was going through a divorce from like a 1-year marriage, and he was cheating on me the whole time. And this is kind of an emotional roller coaster. I feel like I am pretty even keel with my emotions, and it still gets emotional, and in good ways and bad ways. So anyway, I'm glad I didn't do it at this time and that it worked out for right now. But I wanted to talk about between that time that I was going to have surgery and now, I kind of want to talk about some excuses that I said I'm never going to have that surgery. It's not the right choice for me, and it's not for some people, but I am glad that I figured out it was the right choice for me. So my first excuse I'm going to talk about was the expense. And a while ago, you know, 6-7 years ago, when I was first going to do this, it would have cost me a lot of money, even with insurance coverage. And I know there are a lot of people out there that it still costs them a lot of money, but there are a lot of insurance providers that are realizing, you know, it's more expensive to have somebody that's overweight for their whole life and all the complications that come from that than it is to, you know, help pay for surgery and get the cost down. I was so fortunate because I moved to California recently, Northern California, and found out with my new insurance that it would only cost me $235, and I was so skeptical. Like $235 for the hospital stay, for surgery, for everything, except the appointments leading up to it. That was everything. So that was an excuse I made when I saw that it was so cheap here. I'm like, heck yeah, but I think that's kind of a trend, at least nationwide. So maybe look into it if you feel like that's the biggest problem. And I've heard a ton of people go to Mexico and have the surgery done for various reasons. And whatever it needs to be, if you have to save up for it, if you're seriously obese and having these problems, the expense is worth it. And I don't regret. Obviously, I can't really talk to that because it was like so cheap for me. I kind of feel bad sometimes, but look into it and do what you need to do. My second excuse that I would make are the vitamins, that how you have to take the vitamins for the rest of your life. And I talked about a little in our 3-month appointment last week that the vitamins, we got some like horror stories of people not taking their vitamins and what could happen. And I actually had some labs done because I was getting some blurry vision, and I still don't have the test results back from that. I actually have 2 of like 4 test results, and the 2 that I've gotten back yet, I'm deficient in both of those vitamins, not by a lot. I think it was vitamin A and zinc, and I wasn't in the normal range. I'm deficient a little bit, but it made me, there was like a week or 2 there when I first had surgery that you're supposed to crush your vitamins, and I just didn't take any. So I feel like that might be part of the problem. Anyway, but now that I've gotten on a schedule, I'll update more once I get more info about the blurry vision crap. It hasn't happened to me since then, so I'm not super worried about it, and I think it's just, I need to tweak my vitamins, no big deal. I'm trying to give a ploy for like the vitamins aren't that big a deal to take, and they're not. So don't be scared, but you have to take them. But anyway, that is my point, that they're not that bad. Once you get on a schedule for taking them, and you're able to like swallow without having to take like 1 pill at a time, and it takes you 20 minutes. That phase lasts for like 2 weeks, and then after that I was able to take 4 of my smaller vitamins at one time, and then the big multivitamin at a time. They've become really easy, and they're not that bad. I mean, I just feel like it's a really small sacrifice for everything that I'm getting back. I mean, all this weight that I'm losing and healthier lifestyle for the rest of my life, it's worth it to have to take some vitamins, and don't let it scare you. So my next thing I want to talk about, as my phone freaks out, I did not want to have surgery because I was in love with food, and I kind of still am in certain ways, and in other ways I'm not. But I didn't want to have to give up food for the rest of my life, because I assumed that once I had surgery, there were foods that I just wouldn't be able to eat for the rest of my life. And I think that does happen with some people. I had VSG, so it didn't really work out that way for me. One of the reasons I chose VSG is because I'm younger, and I feel like, if there were things that I was gonna not tolerate, I'm not explaining this very well, I'm sorry. With Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, there are things, I think they're more prone to foods not agreeing with them. So my mom had gastric bypass. She does not tolerate dairy like pretty much at all anymore. And that was actually one of the big things. I love dairy. I just love milk. I love yogurt. I love all those things. And so that was something I was like, I don't want to give up dairy for the rest of my life. But that didn't happen for me. And it may not happen for a lot of people. And I can't give any scientific info whether gastric bypass versus VSG is the reason for that, but I know VSG, you have a lot less intolerances, and that's why I chose it. So most people that are watching this are probably thinking VSG, since that's my videos, and I haven't found anything yet that I can't tolerate. And like I said before, it's good and bad, because I know I can have sugar and not get sick, but and so I still need to avoid it and make myself, make sure I'm on target and not eating sugar. But at the same time, I know that when I get down to my goal weight and I'm maintaining, I'm going to be able to indulge once in a while. And I hate to talk about that now, because I used to judge people and say like, oh, you're still overweight and you're already thinking about eating sweets or whatever. But I just want to give a perspective that, you know, if you get down to your goal weight and you're doing well, it's not something that's off the table for an entire life. And the other thing that I didn't want to give up was Diet Coke. And some other people may feel the same way about coffee. I've never really been a coffee drinker, and Diet Coke was my thing instead. So I did not want to give up Diet Coke. But honestly, it's not that bad. I haven't had it, and haven't really thought about having it. It's not that big a deal. I quit and moved on. Coffee drinkers have it a little bit better because you can still drink decaf coffee and still get that taste, whereas I can't really. There's nothing I can have because soda has carbonation. Even if I had decaf, Diet Coke wouldn't really work. But like I said, it really hasn't been that big a deal because I feel so great, and I need to fuel my body with water anyway. So I'm just guzzling water all the time, not even thinking about it. So no big deal. I'm sorry I rambled on that one. I feel like have like all these thoughts going through my head and I'm not focusing very well. But I'm trying to like narrow it into what I wanted to talk about. So my last one I'm going to talk about is my biggest one, which was the extra skin after surgery, after losing a bunch of weight, and how my body shape would change. So as you've probably seen in some of my videos, I feel like I have a pretty even balanced body shape. And so I was worried that when I had surgery and lost all this weight, everything was just gonna sag to the bottom, and I already have most of my weight in my legs, and everything was just gonna sit in my hips, and I was gonna, you know, just be disproportioned. And so that was one of my main concerns, and I'll show you guys. The shirt is like getting so big. So I'm like, maybe I should think about, this is like a horrible angle, but like, it's so big. But still at the same time, I'm gonna do another video, body shot video soon, so you'll see, but like everything's staying pretty proportioned, and I think that has a lot to do with going to the gym or just walking or any kind of exercise, but especially some weight training. So I've been trying to do weight training and make sure things are maintained. I am losing my boobs, but I've never had big ones, so it is what it is. And the extra skin, I'm sure I'm gonna have it. You know, I was 442 pounds. When I get to my goal weight, 180-ish pounds, that would be 260 pounds lost. Yeah, I'm gonna have extra skin. So it's gonna happen. I don't know what things will bug me and what things I can live with. But hopefully when I get to that point, you know, that'll just be another goal, and probably have surgery again for that. And you know, it's possible to fix if it's something you can't live with, and if you can live with it and be confident, even better. So, you know, I guess I'm saying that now when I don't have any problems with extra skin, but it definitely shouldn't be an excuse, because I feel like living with all this extra weight, it's not good for you. And I'm still semi-young, and you know, when you get older, things get even worse. I had really good mobility. I still worked out and was active, but as I got older, all those things would probably be taken away from me. So it's all been worth it. That's what I want to say for this random rambling video, is that all these little inconveniences that you may think will deter you from surgery, or it's just not worth it to have surgery for those things, it's worth it. It's been a great journey so far. I know that I am one of those ones that is blessed without very many complications, if any, and it's just been good. So don't put it off, and take control, and don't let anybody tell you that it's the wrong decision for you, and make the decision for yourself. So I'm gonna check in next week. Oh, real quick, want to talk about my goal that I'm working on, and I am today is almost exactly 4 weeks from my birthday, and I'm trying to hit my next mini goal, which is 325 pounds. So I'm on my way. I have 15 pounds left to lose in 4 weeks. So I hope I get there, and I'm just working on it. I had to put that in my video to remind myself. So I'll check in next time, and thanks for watching. See you guys.